Welcome to the Ultimate Intimacy Podcast with Amy and Nick. And today's
Nick
episode is why men get married versus why women get married.
versus?
Well, I don't know if it's a
I don't know if it's a
competition, but
competition,
okay, we'll just say
but
why men get married and why women get married. And they're
hmm,
probably different reasons, some of
what do
them.
you think the reason is?
I've got my reasons. But more importantly, we took poll answers.
I know, I'm
So,
just saying, just give an estimate of why do you think men get married? Because I can tell you why most women probably get married. Well, then we'll find out.
well, I think men get married for obviously the sexual intimacy component.
Agree.
No
Mhm.
question. I think men get married for like friendship and companionship and things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, there are several reasons, but
Yeah,
those are probably
no.
the two main reasons.
I would say that most women probably get married for deep love and friendship, companionship, and probably security. And not just financial security, but like just security physically, just in general.
All right, but let's be honest. Financial security is a big thing.
It's a really big
I
thing.
mean, what you see,
I'm not saying women can't work. I'm just saying like that's a lot of the reason that they are
oh,
at least used to.
I think for most women that's probably one of the biggest things because you see a lot of very young, pretty women that are with like 80-year-old rich men. And you're like, okay, they're not with them for their looks. They're not.
Maybe he's a really cute old man.
No. They're with them for one reason because they know
They have
that
money,
they have money.
financial security.
They're like, oh,
Absolutely.
I'll put up with this for a few years and then I'll
I'll
be in
take it.
great shape. And then I can go find
Yeah.
my pool boy or whoever that
My
is,
younger man.
my
Yeah.
younger man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what happens. But
I don't blame you.
I want to hear the poll answers
That was yeah.
we polled our audience because that's going to tell us a lot too.
Yep. Okay, so we asked our audience, why did you get married? Um, so I have a whole list
Oh,
of things that were shared, right?
yeah.
But
So did you break it down into men and women, or is it just kind of a
no,
conglomerate of?
it's just both. But I asked, what is your top reason? And then I gave four listed items, okay?
So we don't. So do we know who's responding? Do we know if it's the men or the women that are responding to a certain poll?
I could tell you that it's pretty close to about half and half. Okay, so love and connection was 53%.
Okay.
Do you think that the women picked that one?
Yeah.
Commitment and security was 12%. Shared values and goals, 17%. And desire to build a family was 19%. I
Okay.
know a lot of those are kind of similar. So like shared values, goals, found like starting a family, that's kind of in the same realm, right? But love and connection, 53%. So you want me to share all these answers?
Yeah,
A few
but
of these
do we
answers?
know when you read the answers, do we know if it's a
Yeah.
husband or wife
Yeah.
answering?
I'm just gonna share a few.
Okay.
But okay, the first answer we got was female says love and connection. Second, shared goals. Three, desire for lifelong friendship was what
Yeah,
she said. Okay.
that's good.
Um, this is a guy. Number one, have a wife. Number two, be a dad. That was why you
Okay.
got married.
Well, you can't be a dad without
You gotta have a wife.
a
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah.
Well, no, you can be a dad without a wife, but you can't.
Well,
I think what he was saying is sexual intimacy was up there because you can't be a dad without having sexual
I
intimacy.
don't think
So
that's what he was saying. Nice try. He wanted a
I
wife.
guess he
He
can.
wanted a wife, which is a long-term companion, and he wanted to be a dad.
Yeah,
Like that's a family goal, so you
for
need a
sure.
wife for that. Good one though. Leave it to Nick to turn it in that direction. Let's
Well, no,
see.
I'm trying to prove my hypothesis, which is I
Men
really
get married for sex?
a lot of men get married for the sexual intimacy. Of course, they love their spouse because they're getting married. But that's
I
why if like when a husband gets married and the sex is completely cut off, there's probably a good likelihood that marriage isn't going to last. Like that is how a man feels loved, as I talk about all the time.
most men.
That's how most men feel
Most
loved.
men, not all.
Don't give me hate mail.
This one is from a wife. Found the man who made everything about life better. I want to be alongside him. That's really
That is
sweet.
awesome. That is a
That
great
is an
one.
amazing reason to get married right there.
Makes life better. I
Makes
love that.
life better. Um, this one, I can't tell. I think it's a woman. Love, sex without guilt, have fun, start a new life together. Okay.
Yeah,
Because I absolutely love my wife and want to spend every day with her. That's sweet.
that's a stud.
That's
Yeah,
a stud right
that's a
there.
stud.
He was my best friend. I couldn't imagine my life with anyone else. I think all these answers are really like I found my best friend and I want to share my life with them.
Yep.
Like that's why most I that's what I would say too. I would
Yeah,
agree
for
with that.
sure.
Like I met you, I love being with you. I want to do life with you.
Oh, babe, that's awesome.
She likes my zest for life. Here's a man. Here's what you wanted to hear. Comment to
Oh,
have sex.
okay. Now that sounds
He's just very, very like I want to have sex.
okay. There should be more to that, right?
I'm
I,
sure that he meant sexual intimacy. He wants to be intimate with his wife,
yeah,
hopefully, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
All for
We're
everyone out there
talking good
listening and
marriages.
saying Nick's all about sex. No, what I'm saying is like that's how most men feel loved. So like, of course, that's going to be a big part of it.
That's a big part of it. Absolutely. Like men aren't like sign me up for a life of celibacy. No, that's not why they get married.
No,
Like,
no one's
yeah, I think
knows.
everyone would agree with that. This person said, I wanted to have a long, beautiful life with my best friend. What we just
That's
said.
awesome.
What we
Yep.
just said. Deep love, connection, commitment. Couldn't picture life without him, and I wanted a shared future. Okay, wanted to build a life with my husband. His heart for others and how he is always there to support me. This one says religious belief that marriage is essential in the long run, and don't worry, I chose a good one. That's good.
That is a good
That
one.
is a good
Yeah.
one, that he chose a good one. To build a life project with the person I love, going strong. It's our 25th anniversary.
Ooh, we're right behind you.
Happy anniversary. My best friend and lover did not want to do life without her.
Yeah, that's the way I feel.
I thought it was the next step in life. A lot of people think that, like it, it's just what you do. I got married because I felt safe and loved in my relationship, and I wanted to feel like that forever. I'm going to stop because they're kind of you get the message.
I
Like most people are like, I met my person, I fell in love with them, the friendship was amazing, our connection was amazing. I want to do life with this person, right? And that's usually how it starts. And then we these little barriers and things that make us sometimes not have that strong connection, which is the whole
yeah.
reason we do our podcast is right. Like you fell in love with your spouse, you wanted to do life with them, you wanted a passionate life, right? A lot of these were like, I want to be intimate. Like that's what we sign up for. So we need to do the things to keep doing the things that keep us at that passion place.
I really like the responses, and I'll be honest with you, they were different than what I expected, but in a good way. Like after
Really?
I'd never heard any of those responses till you just read them,
Me neither.
and I thought that they were just awesome. I mean,
Yeah.
I was expecting more, cut and dry like this. I got married because of this, but a lot of them were like, man, I couldn't imagine my life without my
Mm-hmm.
spouse, and
Mm-hmm.
and that's just awesome. You can tell they have great relationships.
No, totally agree. No, I really do think that even though we talk about the differences of husbands and wives all the time, I really do feel like we want the same things. We want the same core values. We want the passion. Women too. I know that we talk about like women having the lower drive or whatever a lot of the times, but I really think that we all have the same desires in
At the
for
end of the
marriage
day,
at the
yeah.
end of the day, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe some of the initial reasons why men and women get married um, are different, but at the end of the day, the core value, the core end result of what we want
Right.
in life is the same. We want to
Right.
want to go through life and have a best friend and be happy and do life together and just feel
Absolutely.
feel secure and feel loved and you know
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so.
Yep.
So we dive in, or do we even need to dive in
Let's
because we're
dive
kind
in.
of got into this. So
Okay, so the top 5 reasons men get married, just some of the stats that are out there. Um, Sexual intimacy is at the top. And if women are rolling their eyes, like it kind of is what it is. Like they kind of get married because they want to like
Now
Make
we're
love to you.
yeah,
Sorry,
now we're
it's
not
true.
now we're talking about men that obviously have fallen in love with you, right? Like
Right, right. We're talking
we're not
marriage. You
yeah,
like you chose to get married.
yeah,
Right.
correct.
You wanted to spend your life with that person. That's why you get
But
married.
from a man's point, they're thinking that, oh, we're gonna be intimate all the time and there's gonna be romance and it's gonna
Hmm.
be, it's gonna be just amazing. And again,
Hmm.
that's how most men feel loved is through sexual intimacy. So that is probably one of the biggest reasons that men get
And
married
I don't think
is
it's
for that.
like, I don't think it's because I want sexual intimacy. It's like I found this person that I'm madly in love with, like you said, and I want
Yeah.
to be intimate with her. Like I want this passionate relationship.
Because there's a lot, like we talk about often, there's a big difference between sex and sexual
Right.
intimacy. It's a totally different thing.
Right.
And there's nothing more amazing than being sexually intimate with the person that you love more than anything in the world. So,
Which leads into number two, which is emotional connection and companionship. That is what makes sex sexual intimacy. So we took the poll. If you go to our Instagram at Ultimate Intimacy app and you go top, like click on one of the top corner posts, it's the survey we took with a few thousand men about what sexual intimacy means to them. And almost every single response was about it being emotionally
for
connecting.
sure.
And I know I've shared that before, but it's so much more emotional to men than we give them credit for.
And for men, Amanda doesn't want to just make love to you and have you just be there. Like he
Once
wants
you don't
you
want it.
to want it
Right.
as well too. Talking about like Amy's hitting on that emotional connection. If
Mm-hmm.
the emotional connection isn't there, then most men don't want it without the emotional connection.
Right.
I mean, that's
A good
just
loving man. Yeah,
yeah,
a good loving
exactly.
man. Absolutely. Yep. The next one is desire for stability and support. What do you think that means when it comes to a man's needs?
I think
It's obviously not like financial support. Man
for
doesn't be like, I
sure.
marry a wife so she could take care of me financially. Like, support is different
Yeah, I
to a
think
man.
support for a man is just knowing that their wife has their back and that they're behind them and that they're appreciative of what they're doing,
Hmm.
all the hard work that they're doing, regardless of what their job is. Just being that support system for them because we as men often hold in our feelings and don't express, the stresses or the things that we're going through and having a supportive spouse, just having our back is a huge thing.
I would also add to that probably peace and encouragement at home.
Yeah, no
I feel
question.
like a lot of husbands are complaining that they're missing that nowadays, that they come home and that she's not that peace that they kind of like we're hoping they signed up for, right? There's more, and I'm not saying there's not a reason for why some of these things happen, but like nagging or complaining or that kind of stuff. Like I think men go into marriage thinking that they have this person that's going to give them that encouragement and peace when they get home from work.
For
And
sure.
sometimes that's not the case. And obviously, like I said, there's sides to why or whatever. But not talking about that. I think that's what men hope for when they get married,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And definitely the love and romantic attraction that kind of goes in hand with number one and two, right? Like,
Yeah, I think we often think that romantic attraction is just more for women, but men, we did a poll on this. In fact, a lot of people are emailing Amy or messaging Amy
uh,
and say, well, romance is just as much for us. Like, we want to be
like,
romance.
why can't I take the poll? Like, I want to take the poll about like how I want to be romanced. Why is this so one-sided? I was really shocked by that because I was like, wait, yeah, men want to be romanced too. That just might look a little bit different.
Yeah, and I think romance to a man is probably
Not
the
getting
better.
flowers.
Yeah, not getting flowers and things like that. Romance to a man is like a wife flirting with him or initiating, saying, "Hey,
Hmm.
babe, you looking hot tonight. It's going to be a good night for you." Like that.
Do
That
women do that anymore? I don't know.
Amy has done that
I
a
hope you
few times,
a few
and you should
times.
see the smile on my face. Like
A few
it
times.
doesn't leave like
Give
for
me
24 hours. Like I'm just like, oh yeah,
give me more credit than
I'm
that.
like the luckiest guy in the yeah.
Yeah.
So.
If only women knew how much men loved that, they would do it more often, hopefully. The last one, like we heard, family, right? Like whether that's religious, whether it's just you want kids, whether that like whatever that looks like I think a lot of men and women, that'll probably be on the women's list is
And
family.
part of that is like I think leaving a legacy, right?
Hmm.
Like, oh, I wanna leave a
Yeah.
legacy of our family or
There's nothing that blesses our lives more than our children. I could flat out say that. And I didn't even realize that one. Yeah, I got married thinking I want a family, but I had no idea the love I could feel for children. Like it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, yeah, for
So
sure.
yeah, I think a lot of couples, both would agree on that one. Okay,
Oh,
talking about the
100%.
wives, right? You ready for the wives?
What's that?
Okay. Number one, I'm just gonna go with financial stability and security. Like
Again,
I
that's
I'm not saying like I have done a lot of the providing in our marriage. I'm not saying women like can't be part of that or they just need that because they're not willing to work or something because most women are working nowadays. I'm just saying there is this like security need from men and it's physical, it's emotional, like security is like encompasses all,
100%.
right?
I mean, I'm just going to be blunt and honest. There's a lot of women out there that would marry a man even if they didn't love him, if they knew that they were financially secure the rest of their lives. They would totally,
Absolutely.
because for a lot of
That's a big
women,
stress.
yeah, for a lot of women, they don't need sexual intimacy component like men do, but they're willing to be with a man and give that if they know they're financially secure. Like I said at the podcast, you see all these young women that are hooking up and marrying older men. They're doing that for security. You're
Mhm.
you're not a 25-year-old woman marrying an 80-year-old man, wealthy man
There are
for
not that many
looks.
of those.
It's not happening. So
There's not that many of those.
actually, there's quite a bit.
How do you know that?
Like look at all the movie stars or like rich people.
That's
Like that's
we
totally
that
normal.
is not even real life. Okay.
I'm just saying
Emotion.
the women are attracted to that security.
There's nothing more attractive than a man that provides for his family. There is absolutely nothing more attractive than that.
That's what I'm trying to hit on this whole time.
Yeah, I agree with that. If men knew how
Okay.
important that was, they would probably focus even more on what they're going to be when they're older. It's very attractive. It's not even just about how much you make. It's about like being willing to work hard for your family, to self-sacrifice for your family, and to be masculine in that sense. There's just something super attractive about that. That's what women want. The next one is emotional security and deep connection. Obviously, I would probably put that as number one. I feel like women get married for that. I mean, this is kind of what we already talked about, like that safety emotionally, physically. Like, we want a husband that's gonna like protect us, and not from like bears or strangers, but like, I mean, back in the old days,
From
it
bugs.
was a
My,
physical safety, like for real. Like back in the days where they're like living outdoors and wilderness and all that kind of like physical safety.
yeah, it's from bugs at my
Nah.
house. They come screaming out like I thought someone just got murdered or something, and they're like, "There's a cockroach in the
You're talking
bathroom."
about your kids, not your
Oh,
wife.
that's true. That's true.
Hopefully, we can teach our teenagers how to kill their own bugs so their husbands don't think they're like super ridiculous.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
okay, I lost my train of thought. You totally.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Totally got you. Totally got you.
I have no problem killing a bug. Let me just reiterate that.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
talking about our daughters.
yeah.
Love and being pursued. I think wives go into marriage thinking, okay, he romanced me like crazy when we were dating. He put so much energy into the relationship, into the dating and the planning and just making me feel so loved. I'm going into marriage because I want that to continue. And that's what makes a lot of marriages hard is that we stop doing the things that we did that made us fall in love with each other,
Oh,
right?
for sure. For
So
sure.
yeah, like a wife is absolutely going into marriage wanting to be continually pursued and shown love. Like we always say, love is an action word. It's not just something you say to each other.
And we as men often suck at that. Like we go into marriage and then that stops. Just ask Amy about that. Like, we got
I wasn't gonna go into that, but
no, I brought it up. But obviously as men, we give our wife flowers and we pursue them and everything to marry us. And then when we get married, we're like,
oh, it's
oh,
Valentine's Day. I
oh,
didn't
it's
realize you still
Valentine's Day.
needed those.
Well, you still need those flowers?
Wait,
What?
what? Yeah, we do.
Joking aside, though, I think a lot of us men do that. We had a guy respond, and he's like, "Why do I need to date my wife anymore? Why would I
I
date my wife
literally
anymore?" And we're like, because you want to stay married and have a good relationship."
because it's fun. Oh, we're gonna have a whole podcast coming up on that.
So, anyways, yeah, keep pursuing your wife, keep dating your wife, keep romancing your wife, pursue her.
pursue her and him. Goes both ways. Absolutely. The next one, like we already said, desire to build a family and have kids together. Common sense, kind of already talked about that. You gotta you gotta have a marriage, hopefully, for that. And the last one is partnership and shared goals.
Okay, what does shared goals look like? Because I think that's important. Like
I
you get
think
it,
that's important.
you got to get in a marriage, and you're like, all right, where do we want to be? How do we
Mhm.
get there? And work together as a team to get there.
And this comes from usually before you're married, sitting down and be like, what are your dreams? What are your goals? Oh, you want a family? What do you like? What is your goal financially? What is life going to look like with you, right? And the key to this one is when you just discuss these things, and you're like, let's get married, let's do this life together. Like keeping like on that same page together is really huge for intimacy. Like making sure you're still talking about those things and connecting in those ways that are going to bring you closer to your goals is huge. And I think we both marry. If you've noticed these two lists, they're like actually really similar. Like we both want to be pursued, we both want to be desired, we both want to have a family and do life together, right? That's what everybody stated. And
Yeah.
so that, this that takes communication along the way.
Yeah, and I think men and women often have they probably want the same goals in the end, but how to get there, I think men are typically, women want a strategy, they want to know the
Hmm.
details, and men are just like, oh, it'll work out, right?
Some
Yeah,
sometimes
some.
it's the wife.
Exactly, exactly. But I think at the end of the day, both spouses want the same thing. And I think it's really good to sit down as a couple, create a vision board, do a
Hmm.
short-term plan, a
Right.
long-term plan, where you want to get to, because it's hard to know where you want to get to at the end of your destination if you don't have a roadmap or an idea of how to get there. And so
Absolutely.
sit down, set some goals, visions, short-term, long-term, as to how you can achieve those goals and get there.
And I think the main goal, if anyone's listening, is like, yeah, I literally signed up to have a passionate marriage. I mean, that's what we talk about, right? Like, I did not sign up to be a roommate in my marriage. I did not sign up to be lonely in my marriage. I did not sign up to be bored in my marriage. I think every single person, and I'm surprised we didn't hear that more in some of the answers. We all want a passionate marriage. We all want a romantic marriage. We all want a thriving best friend kind of relationship. Like, I can guarantee that everyone that chose to get married had
That's what
that.
they
They
want.
had that when they chose it, right?
Yeah.
That's why they chose marriage, just because they're like, this is fun. This is entertaining. Like, I
I want
love
to be
you.
with
This
this
is
person.
romantic. Like, you make me feel good. You make me feel positive. You make life fun and exciting. Like, we have those feelings. That's why we choose to get married. And so it's really important that we, like, if we're kind of feeling stuck a little bit in our relationship and like, gosh, I got married, but now those things kind of have died off, you can bring those back. You can bring those back. You can bring the
And
fun back. You can bring the dating back. You can bring,
it's easier than you think. It's not that difficult to do.
right, right.
You
There's
always go,
lots of episodes on how to do that. So, yeah,
yeah, go. We won't fill it with in this episode, but go
on
listen
how
to the
to's.
other
Yeah,
episodes on how to.
bring back the passion. Yep.
And of course, this episode is brought to you by our wonderful, incredible sponsor, Ultimate Intimacy Products. If you need products to completely enhance the intimacy in your
Mm,
relationship, if you want a marriage where your spouse just can't keep her hands off you, just all over,
like
yeah,
that, like that.
go check out Ultimate Intimacy products at shop.ultimateintimacy.com. Guaranteed that you will like them. It's a guarantee. I'll
That
give
is a
that
guarantee.
guarantee.
That I can give that guarantee. Absolutely. And a lot of them are card decks, our coupon books, personally designed by us. Every product in our shop has been tried and tested, and it
And
works.
test it
And they're
again and
amazing.
test it over again. And we tested it several times to make sure.
If you want a passionate marriage, grab a product and thank you for your support.
And as always, thank you for listening to the Ultimate Intimacy Podcast with Amy and Nick. And until next time, we hope all of you find ultimate intimacy in your relationship.